Simon, thank you for participating not only in the program but also the Livestream Lounge. I just quite literally dragged you away from lunch, so thank you.
No worries. And for those of you watching in the words of the great Jim Cook, I'll be your designated drinker for today. So,
Awesome. So, Simon, what do you think so far about the day and some of the discussions and presentations that we've seen?
I mean, there's a couple of really good points made in particularly in Danielle's piece. I think sometimes you look at some of the Nielsen numbers, IRI numbers, and so on, and they can look very, very dry. And I think one of the things she does is to just kind of look at the insights, the story behind the numbers. And I think as craft brewers, we're really focused on making beer and stuff like that. And it's important to just step back from time to time and look at the story and the numbers of what's going on, the story in your P&L, story in your figures, and try and just kind of bring it to life as some kind of insight that you can then apply to your business. And I thought that was really well done. And Adam is worth listening to any day of the week, frankly. He's just got such great experience at different breweries. And again, as we think about next 3 to 5 years, you've got to know your P&L. You've got to know how your business is working as much as your brewery's working. And I've always said that we've always tried to be brewers who are in business rather than a business that owns breweries. But there's an element of being a brewery that means you got to know what you're doing, and it makes financial sense. Otherwise, you come to a point in time when there's all these people that you employ who are dependent on you, and you hit a wall, and then what do you do?
Right. Well, and then there'll just be better operators out there as well that'll pass you by.
Absolutely.
And you brought up Danelle's piece. I mean, I thought it was really, really fascinating, and I guess pretty accurate. I mean, maybe missing a percentage here or there, but there was that one slide where she had all the various partners and owned breweries, and the volume of craft is 37% owned by or partnered up with, a larger AB, Miller, Duvel even. And that was just like fascinating to me. I hadn't really seen anybody kind of break it down in that way before, to actually take a look at how much volume of craft there is and, how much is skewed towards, the big sort of 4 or 5 brands now. And that was truly fascinating. Where do you see that kind of trending as deal activity continues?
I'd never seen it that way either. I mean, I thought it was very insightful. She had 2 or 3 things in the presentation I thought were really cool. Think back to what she said about this duplication between. We know that people drink whiskey, they drink craft beer. It's kind of, you can feel it, it intuitively, but getting a sense of what the scale of that is important. And this whole idea of if Mexican import drinkers are also big duplicating drinkers of craft beer,
right?
Is it actually craft beer drinkers who are drinking Mexican imports, or is it Mexican import drinkers who are drinking craft? So I thought that was a really cool insight in terms of the way that she's thinking about duplication. And as we're making different types of beers, you got to recognize that no one's going to drink one beer every day of the week for 12 months of the year. We're in a market where people just love different experimentation of flavors, and you might be in a different mood on a Monday than you are on a Friday night.
Well, it just is so occasion based. I mean,
absolutely.
Sometimes you're going to want a big hoppy beer. Sometimes you're going to want something a little lighter. I mean, yesterday we were at the welcome reception at Mission, and I was like, I need something low alcohol, light. I'm here for a couple hours.
Why was that exactly, Chris?
Why? Well, because I didn't want to end my night early, and I still had notes to write when I got back. But it's like that was the occasion that I was in. How are you guys doing that at Duvel or Boulevard or Firestone? I mean, how do you guys address the sort of occasion piece of it?
I mean, it's simplistic to say that we have a range of beers and a big portfolio of different styles. I mean, it's kind of like that's kind of obvious. And I thought Adam made the point that you can't be going into a wholesaler these days and saying, look, I'm really clever, I've got a whole portfolio for every occasion, and expect a wholesaler to turn around and say, welcome, welcome. You've got to be more focused than that.
Right.
I think for us, there are a couple of things that I'd offer as sort of what pearls of wisdom don't exist for me these days. But I think Adam made the point earlier that you've almost got to pick a couple of horses.
Yep.
And making the right decisions on what are your 2 or 3 best horses are where we focus a lot of energy and effort. Because you can take a shotgun and you can spray a whole load of stuff against the wall, and you can hope that something hits.
Right.
But that doesn't work anymore. I think there was a time when you could do that, but less and less so. So really trying to do some upfront thinking and testing, and I think of things about the way that Win Odell does testing at Odell's. I mean, they really test out things at a prototype stage in their bar with people who are coming in to visit the brewery, and if you can get insights about that, what's resonating, it helps you fine-tune some of those decisions. And you don't have to do super clever research to get a perspective on it.
Yeah,
every small craft brewer can
do it. And it's, it's becoming more difficult to pick your horses, as you say. And how many breweries are going to find American Pharaoh in there that can go off and and dominate? I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say. But certainly there's a lot of breweries trying 4100 now, and it's getting...
Just blows me away.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and you're going to talk about it a little bit later, just some of the fragmentation and, what's happening to some of these breweries that are stuck in the middle of the large established breweries and the smaller niche breweries. So I'm really excited to see what you have to say. I know the seagulls are excited to see what you have to say. A flock of seagulls, if you will.
You're dating yourself now.
Oh, no. Here we go. And I'm going to bring Ray back in here, and we'll let you go finish lunch. Simon,
Super.
Thank you. If I had a beer, I'd cheers you.
Great pleasure, Chris.
Mike.
All right, then.
Thank you.